A night that was supposed to be a diplomatic celebration turned into the beginning of a political nightmare. Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, collapsed in front of top officials, and in less than an hour, the entire nation was placed on high alert. Jerusalem, Sunday night, 8:47 p.m. local time. A state dinner was being held at the King David Hotel, one of the most prestigious venues in the heart of Jerusalem. The event was closed to the public, attended only by key figures from the Israeli parliament, military representatives, and several unnamed foreign diplomats. Among the guests was a figure often regarded as the shadow king of Israeli politics, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He arrived with a wide smile, dressed in an elegant black suit, and appeared to be in good health. The atmosphere that night was calm, almost too perfect. Crystal glasses clinked, laughter echoed between the soft notes of jazz music. A luxurious multi-course meal was served, starting with classic Mediterranean appetizers, followed by roasted beef and exclusive red wine from the Golan region. But everything changed within minutes. Just after the main course was served, Netanyahu began to cough softly. His hand clutched the edge of the table. He tried to stand, but his body lost balance. His face turned pale and then began to tremble. A second later, he collapsed. Panic swept through the room. Security personnel immediately surrounded Netanyahu's body and blocked everyone's view with an emergency formation. Some guests tried to approach, but were quickly pulled back. A special military ambulance was dispatched in under 5 minutes. Netanyahu was transported unconscious, with an unstable heartbeat and dilated pupils. One internal source, who requested anonymity, spoke in a fearful tone. "This isn't a heart attack. It's not an allergy. This looks like poisoning." Sheba Medical Center, Tel Aviv. 10:13 p.m. Benjamin Netanyahu arrived in critical condition. The medical team immediately activated the highest level of emergency protocol. The ICU was cleared out. 4 toxicology specialists were deployed. His heartbeat was irregular, his skin began turning blue, and his internal organs showed signs of systemic failure. Minutes later, the first lab results came in. Initial diagnosis: organic arsenic poisoning. This type of poison is known as an assassin's weapon of choice. Odorless, tasteless, and can be absorbed through food, drink, or even skin contact. Its symptoms emerge gradually, but the effects are deadly. One senior doctor involved in Netanyahu's treatment whispered, if he had arrived just 10 minutes later, he'd be gone. After the lab confirmed the diagnosis, Israel's internal security agency, Shin Bet, sprang into action. The entire kitchen area where the dinner was prepared was locked down. Every staff member, from the head chef to dishwashers, was interrogated and barred from leaving. Leftover food was confiscated. Drinks were sent to a military laboratory for high-level toxin screening. One bottle of red wine, served only to the main table where Netanyahu had been seated, became the central focus of the investigation. Was the poison smuggled in through the wine or injected into the food moments before serving? An intelligence source revealed this isn't a random poisoning. This wasn't amateur work. This was a high-precision attack, most likely carried out by a professional or an insider. This type of organic arsenic has previously been linked to the assassination of Kim Jong-nam, half-brother of Kim Jong-un, and is suspected in several other high-profile political killings worldwide. The difference? Netanyahu is still alive, but his life hangs by a thread. Doctors made the decision to induce a medically controlled coma in an effort to prevent permanent brain damage caused by the toxin infiltrating his central nervous system. Not a strike, not a bullet, but a silent poison slipped onto a dinner plate. In the world of politics, poison is a language with no sound. Yet it kills. And this time, it targeted the highest seat in the nation. Was this the work of a foreign enemy? A traitor from within? Or is it only the beginning of something far darker? Tel Aviv, early morning. Netanyahu remains unconscious under tight surveillance. 4 Mossad agents guard the ICU entrance around the clock. But one question now haunts all of Israel and the world. Who would dare and be smart enough to attempt to assassinate the prime minister? Netanyahu is no ordinary leader. He is the embodiment of Israel's hardline policies, feared and revered, both by allies and enemies. For over 2 decades, he has been known as the architect of the Gaza blockade, airstrikes in Syria, and the shadow war against Iran's nuclear program. And because of that, the list of people who want him dead is long. Iran? Netanyahu has long been Tehran's greatest enemy. He has repeatedly threatened to destroy Iran from within and openly labeled it a sponsor of terrorism. Hamas or Islamic Jihad? After the bloodshed in Gaza and the devastation of Rafah, Palestinian resistance groups hold a deep vendetta. But could they get close enough to infiltrate an elite dinner party? Syria or Hezbollah? With Syrian intelligence HQ struck by Israeli missiles and multiple Hezbollah generals killed in Damascus, they have both motive and network. But then there's another theory, crazier yet strangely plausible. What if the threat didn't come from outside, but from within his own country? Political opposition? In recent years, Netanyahu has faced massive protests over corruption scandals and controversial judicial reforms. Some even call him a covert dictator. Now, with Netanyahu on the brink of death, the silent power struggle has begun. In politics, the real enemy isn't the one outside the gates, but the one sitting next to you at the dinner table. A political analyst, Channel 12 News, Israel. One shocking detail emerged. One of the wine bottles Netanyahu consumed had not gone through standard kitchen security protocols. Someone had ordered a private reserve, a special wine that can only be requested by someone on the inside. Who placed that order? And who served it? Shin Bet has refused to comment, but rumors continue to swirl. They say political assassinations are like chess, but this time, the king wasn't taken by a sword. He was undone by a nearly invisible drop of poison. So now the question looms. Who's the mastermind? Who's the enemy? Who's the ally? Or who's silently laughing in the shadows as Israel trembles? Will Netanyahu survive? If he dies, who will take over? And is this only the beginning of a much deeper conspiracy? 3 a.m., Jerusalem. The Knesset building, Israel's parliament, is no longer quiet. Lights blaze through the night. Heavy security forces stand guard, both inside and outside. Netanyahu has not regained consciousness, and without a clear leader, the nation begins to tremble. Key ministers hold an emergency meeting. The deputy prime minister leads the session, his voice shaking. But it's clear, there is no single figure who can instantly replace Netanyahu. And worse still, this vacuum of power is triggering a silent power struggle. 3 names emerge immediately as potential successors. Yoav Gallant, the hardline militaristic minister of defense. Yair Lapid, former prime minister and Netanyahu's chief opposition. Benny Gantz, ex-general, widely popular among the public. But there is no consensus. Factions accuse one another. Fights nearly break out in the chamber. Israel begins to look like a nation without direction. News of Netanyahu's poisoning spreads. Thousands take to the streets, some to pray, others to celebrate. In Tel Aviv, Netanyahu supporters hold banners reading, "We won't let you overthrow him with poison." Meanwhile, in Haifa and West Jerusalem, opposition groups welcome a new era without a dictator. Shops begin to close. Heavily armed police guard government buildings. IDF reserve forces are quietly put on alert. A national emergency status is declared, unofficially but effectively. The United States and the European Union urgently contact Israel, urging them to protect democratic stability. Iran and Hamas deny involvement, but call the incident a warning from the heavens. The untouchable ruler now lies motionless in bed. This isn't politics, this is karma. Official statement from Hezbollah spokesperson, Beirut. Dawn approaches. On the 8th floor of Sheba Medical Center, silence fills the corridor. Machines beep softly. Inside a sterile room, Benjamin Netanyahu, the most powerful and most hated figure in the Middle East, still has not opened his eyes. His body is weak. His breathing is assisted by machines. And the fate of a nation hangs on one man, lying still, unable to speak. Karma, conspiracy, or a silent coup? The people of Israel and the world ask, If Netanyahu wakes up, will he seek vengeance? If he never wakes, who will take the reins? And if poison can reach a prime minister's plate, who is truly safe? The media begins to shape the narrative. This isn't just about Netanyahu. It's about a system rotting from within and how one drop of poison opened Pandora's box of hidden internal conflict. Outside the hospital, the Israeli flag flies at half-mast. An elderly man who had been watching since nightfall mutters, "We used to trust guns. Now we're afraid of a spoon." Netanyahu is not dead, but his power has been shaken, and the nation of Israel now stands on the edge of a cliff between chaos, revolution, or bloody revenge. The world watches, eyes wide open. A leader falls, not by bullets, not by a coup, but by a poison so subtle it was almost invisible. And today, one truth is impossible to deny. Even the most powerful cannot escape karma.